Hey there everyone, welcome back to Game Bina. My name is Dave and we are talking about the Red Dragon Inn again. And this is an ally pack that is the price of 2 for 1. Now, as a disclaimer, this is a review copy from Slugfest Games. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. If you don't know, well, now you know. I love Red Dragon Inn, and having more of it is always a treat. And normally you would get an ally expansion that had one person in it. Well, not this time. Beyond not having drink cards, this right here could just be a 2-player game. And if you have some drink cards on hand, you can make it as such. But this is Piper and Ripsnarl, 2 additions that have a decent kind of twist to them, but it's more of the same. Though it is very familiar Red Dragon Inn grounds that we tread, so let me go ahead and show you what comes in the box and then show you what changes. Let's go. So, standard, what you get in the box, you get the player decks, but a little bit extra for each of the characters. You get the quiver, which has all the arrows, and then Piper's actual deck, and then you get Ripsnarl's tokens and his boss deck. He comes with the boss deck and his regular deck. Then you get these little piddly gold pieces, which I say throw those out. You don't need those, and the counters, as well as the divider and the actual player boards. So now let me show you what each character is about, starting with Piper. Alright, so I'm not going to go over everything. We'll go over her quiver first. You will start the game with an arrow, and I think you draw one more after that, but mainly the only way to get arrows from your quiver is to play your character cards here, and when it says draw an arrow, that's what you'll do. And you'll play an arrow as an action card. The cool thing is, though, you can play as many arrows as you want, so if you have multiple ones in your hand, you can continue to shoot those off, which is in theme with her so much. So that's really the only main difference between her. I do think her game is to shoot people with those arrows and take down their health, and I think she has some cards in here to help ignore some gold loss and some alcohol consumption, but mainly she's just taking people out. And I love her character. She is really cool. I like the Robin Hood palette. Her hairstyle is really neat. She's just a badass elf, and the art is just phenomenal. One of the best drawn so far, in my opinion. Not too many characters show up in the art from the old cast, but you do have the Gizmo dwarf there, or gnome more of, and she just has different things. Again, you'll have ones that say draw an arrow card here, and that's when you will draw that arrow card. But we'll go over the arrows because the arrows are the most interesting thing. That's where we'll spend most of our time, but I did want you to see a lot of her art because she's so cool looking. Okay, so tons of puns, gotta tell you. This is the Pero. Pick up to 2 other players. They each lose fortitude. These are a lot about losing fortitude. Some of them actually help. Harrow. Your opponent's out too sometimes. That one is pretty cool. Ale row, care row. This is the one I'll talk about. 2 fortitude. Pick another player. That player gains 2 fortitude as well. So elsewhere row. Just so funny. The unfair row. It sounds like a Egyptian term, but anything that she can attach to an arrow, she's going to do. Necessaro row. Some are just kind of hard to say. The arrow ring, and this one here is pretty cool. This is probably my favorite art here. But again, a lot of it has a little bit of everything in her quiver, but most of it is just taking down that fortitude. She's super neat, very straight to the point. This can be introduced to, I say, new players easily, but will also keep some of the advanced players happy with her new mechanism. But if you want a little more complexity and more things to have to mess around with, well, we'll have to go over to Ripsnarl for that. So Ripsnarl is a human. So Ripsnarl is a werewolf who does not like to be a human. When he is in human form, he does everything he can to go back to his most desired form, which is that of a werewolf. Now, what you'll have in front of you is one of these tokens here, square or circle, and then you'll have these fury tokens. Once all these fury tokens have been placed on here, he flips over to a werewolf, and these will do some fortitude damage to players that you want to lash out at. Now, there are other cards in his deck that allow him to switch to werewolf form, but there are cards that are going to make him go human as well, such as sometimes it pays to be a smaller target. So you'll see these bronze moons here. Those have to do with turning human or werewolf. You'll see those and you'll have to read the text. But basically this allows you to ignore something and turn into a human if you don't want to lose fortitude. I'm not going to go over every one of these, but his game is all about knocking people's fortitude down. But he has a little bit of everything, but mainly he's scratching at people. And again, this one here will give you some fury, but he turns human. This one here, sure, I'll squirrel. That's a funny one. Of course, the humor is just all over the place with this Red Dragon Inn set. As always, old dog, new tricks. Again, this is a lot of different stuff, but you know, doing fortitude, turning human, turning werewolf, winning gambling, just everyday stuff. So that is the basics of Ripsnarl. Of course, he does have boss cards. I'm not going to go over them much here, but his boss form is on this circle one, so more thematic. You can use that coaster if you like, but he looks super cool in boss mode, and of course, it's overpowered, but it's because he's going to be fighting a whole bunch of heroes. So you can play him as just a character if you want, or go boss mode. Ha, pathetic. Or say, no, I don't think so. I'm staying regular. So that is Ripsnarl. I think it's a good character. If I had to pick, I'd probably lean more towards Piper, but this is something new that they've done, even though it still feels very familiar. So now let me tell you what I think about this set overall, and then we'll go from there. So that is Piper and Ripsnarl. And what do I think about this little expansion? I like it quite a bit, and it gets 1.5 thumbs up for me. And it's not like I dislike anything at all. There just is a ton of Red Dragon Inn here, and does this really change it up too much? Not really, but if you like the Red Dragon Inn series, they are definitely a welcome addition. I do like Ripsnarl. He has a little bit of complexity to him, not anything that's going to confuse you though. I just didn't find myself liking his gameplay. He really took out fortitude and he chained here and there. He was fun, but I kind of really dig Piper. Even though she's very simplistic in nature, I like her arrows. I do think elves are a very sophisticated and skilled race, and she is a badass. So having more like awesome female representation is one of the coolest things that I can think of for Red Dragon Inn. And her scar, I don't know what it is about face scars. I just think they're so damn cool, and she has 3 of them, and I can only imagine who gave her those scars. So I like Piper quite a bit. Ripsnarl is pretty cool, but if I had to pick between one of the two, it's Piper. And do I think you should pick this one up? Well, absolutely. If you're going to pick up any kind of allies pack, get this one. It might cost, I think, a tad bit more than just a solo person, but you get 2 of these. And what they include is really cool, and that's that one like gift or gambling card edition. It's a throwaway card really, but it's cool to have it here. But overall, I do think this is cool, so if you want to pick it up, it's going to be in a link down below. Thank you again, Slugfest Games, for your support. I really do appreciate it, and thank you so much, Vi Nation, for clicking the like and then subscribe. Yeah, until the next time that I see you, that is Miko. Who's your baby? Until the next time that we see you, there you go. My name is Dave, that's Miko. Have a great rest of your day and a great time with all you play. Heard it here on the Game Vine. Bye. Vi Nation, we love making content here for you on the channel, and we're almost at 10,000 subscribers, so subscribe now and help us out. This video right here, I think you'll like. This video right here, YouTube thinks you'll like. Or you can just sit here and watch me dance as a dinosaur for a little bit longer. You can visit us at our social media outlets, and we're going to be improving our Patreon here soon. That's all for today. Miko, it's time to go. Good girl, Miko.